Hey my YouTube friends, Late Boy Scout here, and this is my review of the Kershaw Vapor 2, a bargain bin knife that I highly recommend that you pick up, especially if you find it for the price that I found it for, which was something like $15. Yeah, on clearance at Cabela's. Holy crap, 15 bucks is, again, one of those knives that you can't say no to when you find it, especially for what you get for this knife. I mean, wow. Let's check out the specs on this. 8CR 13 MOV steel blade, a decent steel. Made in China, yeah, okay, I can live with it. Designed by Ken Onion, that's very cool if you collect Ken Onion knives. About 3.5 inch blade, boy that's a lot of blade. And about a 4.5 inch, a little over 4.5 inch handle. And as you can see, it's all kind of drilled out in spots. You know, sort of giving you a little bit of a lighter knife than it might be otherwise, but also just, you know, for looks, giving some style to it. Perhaps that's why they call it the Vapor, because vapors are passing through all the time, you know, blowing through it. Full flow-through design. Yeah, full flow-through design. Means that you're probably never going to have to take this thing apart, but you could if you ever wanted to, because it's all screw construction. Also, it's very thin. It's one of the thinner knives that I own. Given its heft and given its capabilities, it's extremely thin. You're looking at less than 3/8 of an inch. Sub 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 is pretty average, and this is below average in width. Wow. So yeah, that's what that means to me is, to you and me, to me at least, maybe to you, what that means is it's going to be very concealable. Very easy to slip into your waistband, let's say. And maybe this is too big of a knife for you to carry for everyday carry tasks and the small stuff, you know, the small jobs that you might want to get done with your G10 Hawk, for instance. Much smaller, less intimidating blade. Okay, so, but you want to have something large in case you need it for defensive stuff, maybe just for large utility stuff. Here you go. And yeah, like I said, waistband. That's what I've been doing with it. Slipping it into my waistband instead of pocket. Rides deep enough with about this much of the blade showing. About that much of the blade showing. That's deep enough for me. And, you know, in my waistband, I hardly even notice that it's there. I don't remember that it's there. So yeah, why not carry something this size, that thin? You know, that thinness really allows for that comfort. So that's sort of the role that I put this knife into, is sort of a backup knife. You know, what have you. My philosophy on it is this small one. Here's the OD2 this time. This small one is my primary knife. This is the one that I actually do most of my utility cutting with, until I need something large and strong, and then I reach for this. Okay, hopefully I don't need that large strong knife, but if I do, here it is. Is it a strong knife? Well, let's talk about the lockup. Side to side, pretty much non-existent movement. Front to back, no movement at all. And the deployment, as you saw in the opening, very fast. It's just a really well-balanced knife. Harkens back to the Rat 1, and its super fast deployment. Many other knives too. You know, that's super cool, man. You can get that knife out, that big blade out that fast. No spring assist, nothing like that. Just a perfectly placed thumb stud. It's kind of a rampy thumb stud. Let's look at that. I've seen that on a few other Kershaw knives. For instance, this one here, the Zing, has got that kind of a rampy thumb stud. Useless on this knife. Cannot get it out with those. Almost always use the flipper, but whatever. Anyway, they work great. They work great for this knife. Totally work great. Other points. Jimping there, as you can see, allows for some pretty good traction, actually. Better than you might think. Yeah, it'll slip. Your thumb will slip forward if you force it to. But that's decent traction anyway. Some traction there as well on the liner lock. Frame lock, actually. as this is the full frame of the knife. There's no liner to it, you know. Jimping here as well for your palm, or perhaps in the reverse grip for your thumb, depending on the type of use that you're going to put this to. I love that blade shape, kind of a drop point, slight recurve to it, and full flat ground. Allows for some great slicing. So all around, very good utility. I really love it when they kind of put this curve into the grind. Just a nice little attractive point. I like it. For the money, you know, if you can get this thing for the price I paid for it in that $15 range, don't say no, man. Just pick this thing up. That's how good it is. Let's make sure that you are clear on one thing here. That is not a lanyard hole. Because guess what happens when I close the blade? Look at the potential lanyard hole. What happens to it? Chop. There goes your lanyard. So that's not a lanyard hole. There is no lanyard hole on this knife. If you are addicted to lanyard holes, sorry, out of luck. If you want to carry it any other way besides this, sorry, out of luck. Does not reposition. But again, for the role that I recommend you put it in, which is in the waistband, backup knife that you hardly ever use, I don't really care. I don't really care about that position. It's fine with me. Good construction. Again, the weight is somewhere in the 5-ounce neighborhood, I'm going to say. Let's compare it to the Manix 2, which is somewhere in that neighborhood. No, this is lighter than that. Maybe 4.5 ounces. Probably something like 4.5 ounces. Oh man, that's doable. That is very doable. If you want a fairly large knife for a really good price, decent materials, ergonomics, you know, the thinness means that it's not going to feel great in hand for extended use, but for minimal use, it's going to be fine. I think this is a great knife, and I highly recommend you pick it up if you can find it for that price. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm the Late Boy Scout. We'll see you all later.